I would like to call this meeting to order at 10:02. Before we get into the full meeting agenda for the August 21st, 2025 Chicago Plan Commission meeting, I want to quickly provide guidance to those who want to provide testimony on the cases presented for public hearing today. A few of you may have already submitted forms electronically, but for anyone else who may wish to testify before the Plan Commission, please fill out the sheets located on the table where you enter the room. Please include your full name, address, if you're for or against the proposal, and if you're here representing yourself or an organization. Please hand your sheets to one of the staff members. People who have completed forms will be called on after each item is presented. Thank you. Out of respect for other speakers, please limit your comments to 3 minutes. Please line up at the microphone behind me to my left. I will call your name, and please do not repeat comments that have already been made by previous speakers. The public comment portion of the meeting is not a question and answer session of the staff or the applicant, but an opportunity for attendees to voice their opinions on a particular proposal. Out of respect for others, please do not interrupt or disrupt the speakers. Any individual who disrupts the presentation or any subsequent comment session may be asked to leave the room if necessary and may be escorted out by security. We will now call the roll. Commissioner Barclay. Not here. Commissioner Boatwright.
Present.
Thank you. Commissioner Brumfield. Not here yet. Commissioner Burnett. Not here yet. Commissioner Turner.
Here.
Thank you. Commissioner Castañeda.
Present.
Thank you. Commissioner Dowell. Not here yet. Commissioner Flores here. Commissioner Johnson. Not here. Commissioner Cadaquia.
Here.
Thank you. Commissioner Laspada.
Here.
Thank you. Commissioner Lyons.
Here.
Thank you. Commissioner Murphy.
Here.
Thank you. Commissioner Piñeiro.
Here.
Thank you. Commissioner Ramirez Rosa. Not here. Commissioner Reyes.
Here.
Thank you. Commissioner Cicho Lopez. Not here. Commissioner Esposito. Not here. Commissioner Tillman. Not here. And Commissioner Villegas. Not here. We will now approve the minutes from July 17, 2025, regularly scheduled Plan Commission meeting. The minutes were distributed prior to today's hearing. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes from the regularly scheduled meeting of the Chicago Plan Commission held on July 17, 2025?
So moved.
Thank you, Commissioner Piñeiro. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Boatwright. Roll call vote. Commissioner Boatwright.
Yes.
Thank you, Commissioner Turner.
Yes.
Thank you, Commissioner Castañeda.
Yes.
Thank you, Commissioner Flores. Yes. Commissioner Cadaquia.
Yes.
Thank you, Commissioner Laspada.
Yes.
Thank you, Commissioner Lyons.
Yes.
Thank you, Commissioner Murphy.
Yes.
Thank you, Commissioner Piñeiro.
Yes.
Thank you, Commissioner Reyes.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion passes. Reminder, we will take public comments for the items on the agenda after each item has been presented. If you have not already done so and you wish to speak on an item, please complete a testimony slip available at the table. To my left, staff members are available to assist if needed and will collect the forms from you. Now we will move on to the public hearing presentation portion for matters submitted in accordance with the Lake Michigan and Chicago Lakefront Protection Ordinance and or the Chicago Zoning Ordinance. The first item today is listed as D1, a proposed business plan development and Lake Michigan and Chicago Lakefront Protection Ordinance application submitted by Aquina Investments Trust for the property generally located at 6402 through 6420 South Stony Island Avenue. The applicant is proposing to rezone the site from B3-5, a community shopping district, to a business plan development. The applicant proposes to construct a 26-story, 303-foot, 8 inches tall hotel consisting of 250 hotel rooms and accessory uses, including retail, office, hotel support uses, and 118 accessory parking spaces. The maximum floor area ratio of the planned development will be 5.0. This is item 22704 and Lakefront Protection Ordinance number 790. and this is in the 5th Ward. Noah Safranek will provide the context overview and present the proposed plan.
Good morning. For the record, my name is Noah Safranek with the Department of Planning and Development. This proposed development is generally located at 6400 South Stony Island. It's located within the Woodlawn Community Area within the 5th Ward. It is also located within the private use zone of the Lakefront Protected District. The applicant, Aquina Investment Trust, and their development team appear here today for the purposes of establishing a business plan development on the subject site. The request is being submitted as a mandatory plan development application pursuant to section 17080512 due to the fact that proposed development will exceed 80 feet in height in the underlying -5 district. As just mentioned, the site is generally located at 6400 South Stony Island. It's the southwest corner of the intersection of 64th Street and South Stony Island. It's situated immediately adjacent to Jackson Park. The applicant proposes rezoning from the current B3-5 designation to a business plan development. The applicant is then proposing to construct a 26-story, approximately 303-foot tall hotel consisting of 250 keys, as well as accessory uses including retail, office, and hotel support spaces. The development will also include 118 accessory parking stalls. The proposed development site measures approximately 36,000 square feet. It includes roughly 3,500 square foot lot that is city owned. This is just approximately under 10% of the total lot area. It is being sold to the developer with city consent. The sale will allow the development to be moved to the corner to help meet city urban design guidelines as outlined in the zoning ordinance. This site sits just north of the Island Terrace Senior Living Apartments and is well served by various CTA bus routes. It is in close proximity to the 63rd and 59th Street metro stations, the latter of which you'll hear about later today. I'll now turn the presentation over to the development team via the attorney, Rich Cloud.
Thank you, Noah. For the record, Rich Clowder, DLA Piper. I represent the applicant in this matter. The applicant is here in the person of Allison Davis, a distinguished veteran developer and prominent civic leader, and the controlling party to the trust that owns the property and is seeking the plan development and lakefront approvals. To his left is Bill Ketchum from Stantec Architects, and our other consultant that's present today is Lou Abu, who's seated back there. Lou's left is Bill's partner, Marie Cruz. The first slide that you have in front of you here is a context plan. West is on the top, actually. You'll see a mix of small and large scale residential, institutional, and commercial uses. This site has been owned by Mr. Davis for many years and will be complementary and catalytic and serve as a gateway to Jackson Park, Woodlawn, and the South Shore neighborhoods, as well as the Obama Center. Let me now invite Bill Ketchum from Stantec Architects to walk you through the plans, and then if there are questions, our traffic consultant and the architecture team is available for any questions. Please proceed.
Okay, thank you. For the record, Bill Ketchum, Stantec Architecture, Inc., in Chicago. The site plan, which you see on the screen there, is rotated 90 degrees from the other plan, but it shows the development going to the corner of 64th Street and also fronting on Stony Island Avenue, Mark Carmel High School to the left, directly west of the project. Next, please. Number of slides that show the ground floor plan, so we'll focus on what they're about. First of all, again, this shows the development of the site that has been coordinated through CDOT and landscape, as well as initial conversations with the planning department. It shows the vehicular access and access to the building coming from the east to drop off along Stony Island Avenue. Loading has been moved to 64th Street, which is a partial why we're able to get the additional properties, and the building has moved to the corner, acknowledging an easement along 64th Street, which sets the corner of the building. The tower itself is held back at the ground floors and then rises above. Next, please. Open space and landscape. We've had conversations with landscape department here at the city and coordinated that through the CDOT. Tree selection, tree spacing, and landscape improvements are indicated here. All of that has been reviewed and signed off by landscape, again, mixing the tree varieties. In terms of context, setting the street elevations next to Island Terrace Apartments directly south of the property, a small mixed-use retail residential building on the corner of 65th. Next, please. Turning the corner, see the street elevation and context, same scale, looking at the 64th Street side, you see Mount Carmel to the right. Parking garage, when we get to the bigger elevation, is pushed back on that street elevation, as we do not have control over that section, which is owned by North Carolina. We'll briefly go through the floor plans just to set the context for everyone. The word to the left is the entrance and parking floor. It shows the hotel lobby, the hotel back of house, and the parking ramps that go up to the parking within the building. Plan on the right, which is the first full parking plan, shows the accessible parking directly adjacent to the elevator and accessible to people with need. It also shows the second level, what we'll call the conference center, which is a roughly 6,000 square foot opportunity for conferences and hopefully in conjunction with the Obama Center. Next, please. We work up through the bottom of the building. We have a multi-story lobby, and you can still see the tower is not appearing yet on the street, just the columns. We have landscape portion in the foreground for outdoor use with hardscape. Going up through the building, multiple layers of parking and a single helix that goes up through with parking on every floor. With, again, 118 spaces with the appropriate number of ADA spaces. We get up to the terrace level, and you can see that we have an amenity floor. There are two amenity floors, one halfway up the building, one sitting on top of the parking garage. The pool that is projected for that roof sits inside of the ramp, so that does not cause structural difficulties. Again, fully landscaped green roof for amenities of the hotel. Up about midway up in the building, we have a amenity floor, and that is really a small conference area with outdoor space to truly appreciate the proximity of Jackson Park and the great views to the west from this site. Next, please. There are two tiers of hotel plans. The hotel plans currently accommodate a maximum of 250 keys. That is a maximum set in the PD. The actual number of keys could be fewer than that, depending on the operator of the hotel as that moves forward. So we have a generic floor plan setting basic hotel rooms. Next, please. To get to the top of the building, you have mechanical penthouses, elevator overruns, and again, a green roof, accommodations to sustainability. But every horizontal surface exposed to the atmosphere is in fact landscaped. Next, please. Elevations of the building, generally glass. We have a masonry base on the building, which is to respect the inherent nature of the community of Woodlawn, with masonry building up to about a height of 45 feet-ish. The large setback in front of the building to give a little bit of relief at the street, and then the conference and food amenity spaces off to the right facing on 64th Street. First question asked, of course, is bird protection. We do have bird protection in the glazing. I'm sorry, there are two levels of enhanced, which we have in the bottom 70 feet, and the normal basic above that. So we have accommodated that in the plans, but basically massing and configuration of materials illustrated here. It's brick, aluminum, and glass. Very simple. Next, please. We're now trying to illustrate where we are in terms of building height. We are 303.8 as defined by the zoning, which is underside of structure, the top occupied floor, and the other adjacent buildings around Jackson Park and their relative heights. That view is taken, next please, from two angles. Whoops. Two angles to just again reinforce that we're not terribly out of context for properties building around and adjacent to Jackson Park. Next, please. Now sneak into what it might look like. Artist rendition. Again, this building is really seen as a large investment in the Woodlawn community, a new building, big investment, a bright, shiny tower. Welcome you as you come off of the Skyway up Stony Island Avenue as you continue toward the Obama Center. This is the view looking from the Obama Center, the 64th Street corner in the foreground, the tower behind. Next, please. A little bit upper view showing its proximity to the Obama Center. We are about 3 blocks away and look forward to working with them going forward. Next, please. Street view, again, artist rendition. They're a little bit fuzzy, but that's the way it is right now. Again, the conferencing and food service and public spaces on the corner of 64th and Stony Island. Lobby, as you move up through the building with vehicular drop off on the curb. Next, please. Up on the amenity deck, you will have views to the west from here. Again, the pool that's dropped into the parking structure, and again, the landscape terrace at that level. Next, please. Not quite as interesting, though. We have done a transportation, traffic, and parking study for the neighborhood, which can be addressed later, but Fundamentally, the site, which is in the center of the rectangle on the right, is well served by bus and mass transit. The parking, the access to the site in terms of loading and transportation is all covered there and has been coordinated through CDOT in terms of curb access and all of those good things. Traffic study will go into detail later, but fundamentally, the traffic study supports the development as non-intrusive to the neighborhood that is being put in and is well supported again by the public transport system. Next, please. Sustainability is an important development relative to the City of Chicago guidelines. We are targeting to be as sustainable as we can possibly be. We put bird protection first, just because we know that showing the glass building, this venue would be sensitive. We're looking at building electrification, again, all horizontal surfaces, landscape, water reduction, native landscape, and well building standards for this. Been accommodated in the narrative, the requirement for EV parking ready, as they are all accessible. Bike parking on site. Turn it back to Rich now.
Just a very brief history of the site. Mr. Davis has owned the site for quite some time. Recently, he decided to re-engage with DPD in the Alderman's office to put forth this proposed hotel plan. We re-engaged with DPD accordingly and filed a plan development application, as you will know, in March of 2025. In July last month, we held a community meeting that was attended by local stakeholders and also by the Alderman and his staff. If you want to go to the next page or the next slide, excuse me, the result from the community input, the Alderman's views and the planning department's perspective is a superior project. Of note, and as mentioned by Noah previously, DPD made available the city-owned lots along 64th Street at the north of our site to facilitate loading off of 64th, rather than from Stony Island, which was a suboptimal condition. So therefore, we were able to go under contract with the city to be able to acquire the two city-owned lots on the north side, on the south side of 64th Street. The building height was also reduced and amenities were added and green space was enhanced. So it's a superior project to where it started out, and we are grateful to DPD and the Alderman's office for that. Next slide, please. Community and economic developments are substantial. We estimate that the project cost will be $100 million. We estimate temporary construction jobs of 225 or so, and permanent jobs estimated to be between 100 and 120 jobs when the project is built out. We will obviously honor the city's MBE and WBE requirements. As a minority developer himself, Mr. Davis has a distinguished track record of involving MBE and WBE firms in his project and local residents, and is pledged to work with the Alderman's office and other stakeholders to deliver a project whose labor profile is consistent with the neighborhood demographics, leveraging local firms and residents to provide meaningful employment opportunities. I want to acknowledge the presence of Unite here. At the appropriate time, we look forward to engaging with you and your members to assist us in making sure that the employment profile of the project matches the employment demographic of the nearby communities within which the project is being constructed. Our thanks to DPD, CDOT, and other city agencies, and particularly to Alderman Yancey for his support and engagement. I'll send it back to Noah to close.
Thank you. Again, for the record, Noah Safrani. The Department of Planning and Development has reviewed the materials submitted by the applicant. We've concluded that the proposed development is appropriate for the following reasons. First, the proposed development is compatible with the character of the surrounding land uses and is of similar bulk and density of several other developments located immediately adjacent to the park and within the vicinity of this proposal. The proposed underlying zoning of B35 is consistent with other zoning districts, both adjacent to the site and in the immediate area. The proposal will promote economically beneficial development patterns that are compatible with the character of this neighborhood. The project promotes transit, pedestrian, and bicycle uses. It ensures accessibility for persons with disabilities, and it minimizes conflicts with the existing traffic patterns in the vicinity as demonstrated by the traffic study. All sides and areas of the buildings that are visible to the public are treated with materials, finishes, and architectural details that are of high quality, and the subject site will be in compliance with the applicable policies and purposes as outlined in the Lakefront Protection Ordinance. Lastly, copies of the application were circulated to other city departments and agencies, and no comments have been received which have been left unaddressed. Please refer to my staff report for further details today regarding this project and the plans identified here today. Based on the foregoing, it is the recommendation of the zoning administrator of the Department of Planning and Development that this application to establish a business plan development located within the private use zone of the lakefront protection area be approved and then forwarded to the City Council Committee on Zoning, Landmarks, and Building Standards as such. Thank you.
Thank you, Noah. Let the record reflect that now Commissioner Dowell, Commissioner Cicho Lopez, and Commissioner Brumfield are in attendance.
Madam Chair, will you grant me an indulgence? I believe Mr. Davis would like to address the commission very briefly. Is that okay?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Thank you. Commissioner Boatright, pleased to be here with this proposal. I've been around a long time and I was counting up this morning. I've executed 13 various developments in this city. Not the least of which is the Columbian at Roosevelt, Michigan, 54-story high-rise condominium. But most of it been in the neighborhoods. The Overton at 36th and State, Auburn Commons at 87th and National, Evergreen Terrace and Evergreen Sedgwick at Sedgwick and Claiborne, Evergreen Towers, which is similarly in that same location. The Overton, as I said, is a city landmark and National Register. The Roosevelt Hotel, Roosevelt and Wabash is also a national landmark and the city of National Register. So what I've tried to do is to go places other people don't go and make the neighborhood better. And this is certainly an example of that. A hotel at 64th and Stone. But we have a catalyst in terms of the Obama Presidential Center. And so we hope to leverage off of that. Anticipated that 800,000 visitors will come to the Presidential Center annually. And they gotta stay somewhere. Not just gonna show up, because they'll come from all over the country, all over the world, to see this magnificent addition to the South Side. So thank you for your time. Consideration.
Thank you. Do the commissioners have any questions of the staff or the applicant on this item?
Another question, Commissioner Boatright. Not a question. I think it would be good. We know that you've had community meetings and it would be good to elaborate a little bit more on the engagement to date. I too agree. It's great to have a hotel local, so that people can stay locally given this catalytic development through OPC, Obama Presidential Center. And so it's exciting to see the site activated. It's exciting to see a use that will benefit the city and benefit beyond just this area, the city as a whole, broadly. But I would love for you just to touch on a little bit the engagement to date and plans for future engagement as you prepare to move forward, assuming approval here today.
We've had a lot of sort of what I would consider to be micro meetings. There are numerous stakeholders in this area. There's Apostolic Church, there is support, there's Obama Center. We've obviously let them know what our plans are. And also there's the University of Chicago, and they registered their support as well. So there have been a lot of, sort of informal kind of coffee catch kind of meetings that have been very successful and fruitful. We've also met with the alderman on several occasions and taken his direction in terms of community process. He was not the host of the meeting in July. He did attend the meeting. I think he heard a lot of neighborhood feedback and then posted the information on the website and invited people to read it. And I think that, I don't want to speak for him, but I think the response has been overwhelmingly positive. So that's the nature of the community process, which kicked off really even before the March filing of the application earlier this year. I don't know, Alderman, if you'd like to add anything, but that's our perspective.
Sure, yeah, Alderman Yancey, good board, Alderman. Grateful for the opportunity to help shepherd this development in Woodlawn on Stony Island. It's a stretch of land. I've been traveling for probably 40 some odd years, and we're in need of bringing something vibrant to the community. I also believe that bringing this hotel there, along with the Obama Presidential Center, signals that the South Side is a great place to invest your money. It's a great community, got great locations, and unfortunately, we got a lot of land. So by all means, come. Just to talk about the community meeting. We did have one community meeting attended by some members from Unite Here who were present. I think the majority, if not all those members, were Fifth Ward residents, so we did get some good feedback there. And we're likely going to host a little bit more of an informal community meeting. You know, might be top of the year as we go into budget season, but that'll give us an opportunity to have a much more wider conversation outside of the folks who are in the immediate impact zone.
Thank you.
Thank you. I know we have a few comments from commissioners, Commissioner Cicho Lopez, followed by Commissioner Brumfield, and then Commissioner Laspada.
Thank you. Thank you. And I want to thank Alderman Yancy for giving us a context. I just got a similar question around the community engagement and hearing a little bit more about the, concerns or things from the community that we can address as a commission. I think the issue of housing in Woodlawn and a lot of other communities near the Obama library is being a concern, continues to be a concern for many residents. So just, I came a little later, couldn't hear there was any public comment, but I just want to hear what are those challenges and concerns. I know that this is one development and it's good to reactivate sites and at the same time hear what are those concerns around the area. So, and as we have Department of Housing, as a member of the community and chair of housing, we like to be definitely, Alderman has been proactive in looking at legislation to help with that. So my concern in particular is around housing, but anything else that the Alderman and the applicant would like to share, we'd love to partner up.
Thank you, and I do apologize. We do have many speakers signed up to speak, so maybe this is a good time to do that. I will call each other. I'll do, I think we have more than 5, but I'll do first one, Jonathan Prescott, who is for the proposal. Second one, Val Free, who is for the proposal. Yes.
Just a second, just to let the speakers know, you can stay where you're at. The room is fully mic'd up, so they'll pick up your comments wherever you're at. If you want to stand, that's fine, but they'll pick up your comments there.
First speaker, Nikita Jones. Who is against the proposal. Next, John Hugh Henry, who I think is against the proposal. And then 2 more, Julia Pop, who's against the proposal. And lastly, Mr. Butler Adams, who is for the proposal. If you want to go ahead and start.
Oh, hello, everyone. My name is Jonathan Trey Scott. I serve as the Director of State Development of the South Shore Chamber of CDC. We are definitely in support of this project because we currently commissioned a study from SB Friedman and we're doing planning work along 71st Street with Perkins and Gill. So one of the things as the development team stated is that we have a lack of hotel rooms within the South Side. And if you think about the Obama Presidential Center coming online, people need somewhere to stay. We want to be able to capture these outsiders, disposable income along our commercial corridors in South Shore, along Stony Island, along 71st Street, 75th Street, 79th Street. So we definitely need this project because right now the South Side is only around 30 hotels and we only within a 1.3 mile radius of the OPC, we only have 655 hotel rooms. And so that if we don't build hotel rooms, that's gonna put pressure on the residential stuff, such as Airbnbs, and if we talk about affordability within our community, we want to be able to keep that housing affordable for working class families and not activated for hotel use when we have a need for a hotel. Right now, in terms of luxury housing, the main hotel is on 53rd Street at the Sophie with the Mesford. That's where it's like overabundance. So we're literally showing a hotel occupancy rate for the South Shore submarket around 64%, implying most hotels are near capacity. So this is a project definitely needed. And so at the chamber and at the CDC, we definitely support it, but we also definitely want to work in terms of public engagement to make sure businesses are involved. We definitely have a lot of contractors within the community making sure like they get work on this project. and that it has community benefits, but it's solely needed. It's something that when I first, got into the role, I was looking at potential uses and identify a hotel use as a major use, especially with the city making it from 67th Street all the way down to 79th Street. They want to plan with the Lincoln Land Institute for the corridor. So this is something that's sorely needed in the community. So he's saying that in support of it at the chamber.
Thank you, Mr. Scott. Next, Ms. Belfry, who's for the proposal?
My name is Val Free. I'm the executive director of the Neighborhood Network Alliance. We are a community organization in South Shore. We organize block by block. And we do community engagement around community development issues. So we are standing in agreement of this for a number of reasons. I don't know how many people know that from 59th to 67, there were several hotels on Stony Island. And just that historical piece and how much I know community members fight to bring back what was, because that's what drew them there. This is a great opportunity to bring back not just one hotel, but several hotels. This is a great opportunity for public, community input on what they would like to see, even a larger group. But it's also an economic driver, right? We create jobs, not just entry-level jobs, C-level jobs. This is an opportunity for, plenty of job creations. Not only that, if anyone has ever drove down the street, drove down Stony Island, 63rd, 64th, the energy needs to change, right? So if you have a hotel that's bringing in people that's visiting the Obama Center, you're gonna see things change. You know that positive loitering changes the atmosphere, and this will be considered that. How many people go to the Museum of Science and Industry? And what they do is they drive in, they drive out, no dollar circulations in the neighborhood. They don't stay, and if they do, as he's mentioned, they're in an Airbnb. So here's an opportunity to get people to come into the neighborhood, see what's happening, and be more of a asset than just coming in, see the museum and go home. So we stand in agreement of this, and if you all need anything from us, like I said, we organize the community members, we can serve to help.
Thank you, Ms. Free. Next, we have Nikita Jones, and, actually, you don't specify if you're for or against the proposal.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I was just gonna clarify, I'm not here to speak for or against the proposal. So thank you all. Hello, my name is Nikita Jones. I work as a cook at the Fairmont Hotel, and I'm here with Unite Here Local 1, 5th Ward, hospitality workers. I've lived in the Grand Crossing area for about 15 years, and I recently just became a homeowner in the 5th Ward as well. I'm a proud union member who has fought to raise the standards in our city and our city's hospitality industry. According to 2024 data from the Institute of Housing at DePaul University, 55% of households that rent in the Woodlawn cost burden, meaning they spend more than 30% of their income on housing costs. In the South Shore, it's 57%. Rents keep going up, and this problem is going to get worse. If people are going to keep up, they need jobs that do more than the minimum. I'm here today because the developer of this hotel hasn't made a commitment for the jobs at the hotel to be the kinds of good paying jobs that our community deserves. We want to know, are the jobs at this hotel going to pay more than the bare minimum? That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Jones. Next, we have, John Henry, who also does not specify if he's for or against the proposal.
Hello, my name is John Henry. I'm neither for or against this proposal. I work at Offshore Navy Pier, and I'm here with Unite Here Local 1, 5th Ward hospitality workers. I grew up in Woodlawn and attended Hyde Park High School. I still remember riding my bike all around the lakefront and the neighborhood parks as a kid. I served in the U.S. Navy. I traveled all over the world, and now I'm back in Chicago and in the process of moving to a new place in South Shore. I love this part of the city, and I want to see more opportunities for people to make a good living. Without the work that we do, there is no tourism, no visitors, no service industry. That's why we're organizing to give hospitality workers a seat at the table in projects like this one. Neighborhoods like Woodlawn are changing. I couldn't believe how much rent went up in this city while I was in the service. Last year, the Illinois Policy Institute found the average Chicago rent had gone up $600 a month in the past 10 years. The only reason I could afford to look for a place in the South Shore is because of my good paying union job. If I didn't have it, I don't know what I would do. We need this developer to make a real commitment to hospitality workers in the neighborhood so we don't find ourselves priced out. That's why we're proposing that the city write high hospitality standards into the sale of the 2 city lots this hotel developer wants to buy. It's easy to make promises, but we want it in writing. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Henry. Next, we have Ms. Julia Huff.
Hello, good morning. My name is Julia Huff. I work at Offshore Navy Pier and I'm here with Unite Here Local 1, 5th Ward Hospitality Workers. I've been a bartender for a long time, and even in a city like Chicago, most hospitality jobs are a grind that barely let you make ends meet. When they say minimum wage, they mean minimum. Offshore is my first union hospitality job, and I can feel the difference. I make better money, I have great health insurance, and I have more control over my schedule. I only wish that we had access to similar high-quality hospitality jobs where I live in South Shore. I've been a jazz singer most of my life. I used to perform at Bernice's Twilight Zone and other venues that are long gone. It breaks my heart that we've lost so many special places over the years. I want people to have money to spend and places to spend it in the neighborhood. This developer wants to acquire 2 city lots in a prime location across from Jackson Park to build this hotel. We've proposed that the city of Chicago include a covenant in the sale of those lots that requires future hospitality operations on the site pay well above minimum wage, give workers access to quality health care, and guarantee consistent minimum hours for everyone working at the hotel. I don't want to see businesses come to my neighborhood thinking they can pay workers the bare minimum. We know that hospitality workers in the 5th Ward deserve no less than people working downtown. People should be able to work where they live without taking a pay cut. South Shore deserves more.
Thank you, Ms. Huff. Next, we have Mr. Butler Adams.
Yes, for the record, my name is Butler Adams. I'm a more than 4 decade resident of the Woodlawn area. My family has owned property in West Woodlawn for more than 100 years. I'm very much in favor of this project. This land has been vacant for many, many years. The first speaker mentioned how at one time there were a number of hotels along Stony Island. That includes the Southmore Hotel at the corner of 67th and Stony, which was more than 300 rooms, put down back in 1977. So with this, I just see us replacing what has already been lost in the neighborhood. It's a nice design. I like the architecture. I know the Scantic is also working with 400 Lakeshore Drive and SOM for that project, so I'm kind of familiar with their work. I would ask that they would, I didn't see it in the documents, include possibly because of its location, it being like 25 floors, rooftop bar and restaurant for the entire neighborhood. So it would be nice to be able to visit and have those views of downtown and the area. I know the alderman is here right now. You mentioned the fact that there are a lot of vacant lots in the area, and yes, there have been, yes, there are. And with Plan Commission and Plan Development working on another number of projects and corridors like Western and Broadway and 95th and 79, I would love to see a project on a development project proposal for Stony Island between, say, 57th and 71st, and really utilize Metro Electric, because there's so much, we always talk about TODs and we never include Metro Electric. So that seems to be one thing here that could be done. I know that one of the projects we're going to talk about today also includes renovation of a metro project. So with everything that's happening in Woodlawn and Hyde Park, the Obama Center, this proposal, and Apostolic Church has a plan for many hundreds of units. I would love to see a thought of re-extending the Green Line from Congress Road to Stony Island at least. This is a thought, this is kind of my thing here. But I really appreciate this project, and thank you, Mr. Davis, because the Columbian is one of the first buildings I spoke in favor of this commission about 20 years ago now. So I would love to see this move forward, and that's all I have right now.
Thank you, Mr. Adams. I'll turn it over, back to the commissioners. I know Commissioner, Ron Peel had a comment, Commissioner LaSpada, and then Commissioner Piñeiro. Thank you.
First, I just want to thank you, Mr. Davis, for everything you've done, have been doing, and obviously you're continuing to do here in terms of helping to advance our neighborhoods, particularly on the south side. Like you also, you might be saying, public record, Bill, to mention your impact in the early days of Plan for Transformation, particularly at Stateway Guards down Park Boulevard. So I just wanted that on the record as well. My larger question is this, it relates to slide 27. I think what the real question that a number of people probably have in the room here is how soon can you actually get this project started? I agree with all the number of the comments that were made earlier. We all know that particularly this part of the south side in general has been lacking hotel spaces. I'm sure if they had to do the Sophie over again, as well as the one at Harper Court, they probably would have added maybe twice the room. So the demand is there, but it goes beyond Hyde Park. So I appreciate the boldness of what you're looking to do. I think the larger question is the next steps in terms of getting the project moving. We all want to see it happen.
So I wonder, Commissioner, if I could try to answer your question and also answer some of the concerns that was just raised by some of the speakers. This is the first and among the most important steps in actualizing this vision. And we still have to acquire the property from the city that is on the south side of Stony Island. We have to identify a joint venture hotel operator partner. We have to access the capital markets to find equity and debt. Not as easy as one might think. This project, I think, sells itself in terms of the demand and the location and everything else, but it is not as easy as one might think to jumpstart projects, especially on the south and west sides of the city. That's not right. That's just reality. And so I think that at the appropriate time, the labor organizations, the other stakeholders, the hotel employees and so forth, through their representatives will be approached. And as I said in my comments, and as I think Mr. Davis's career record speaks to, there's nothing more important to him as himself a minority developer than leveraging the minority businesses, women-owned businesses, and South Side residents for the benefit of a project. And as Ms. Huff said, and I've heard her say this at a public meeting too, and I think the words are really well said, and that is people should be able to work where they live. And that's our goal, and I'm sure that that's what the alderman will insist upon. So hopefully that commercial perspective, but also kind of commitment to the here and now from the standpoint of the track record of 50 years is worth something in resonance with you and with our neighbors.
So appreciate the clarity. Thank you.
Thank you for saying that. Commissioner Castada.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much for the presentation. I will say, so the piece was raised by public commenters around the land sale. Assumption, someone can confirm this, that will be separate ordinances going through Chairman Sixto Lopez's committee, correct?
Yeah, the land sale is treated separately, and just Commissioner Boatright, just for clarification, when we talk about the land sale, it may be useful to go to the actual site. The total site is approximately 36,000 square feet. You're talking less than 10% of city-owned land as part of the lot. So I just want to give context to the amount of city lot as it relates to Mr. Davis's land. Part of the sale, but it is two separate processes for the sale.
Kind of figured, Commissioner, just taking as a moment for public education on the comments that were raised.
Yes.
I will say, as we're here talking about the Plan Commission responsibilities here, the plan development, the lakefront protection ordinance. Well, the whole text of the ordinance wasn't on the screen in terms of both the spirit and the letter of the lakefront protection ordinance. I really feel like this development leans into that in a very thorough and comprehensive way. And I really appreciate that. Honestly, like commissioners, to see the conversations that we've had over the last 2 years together bearing fruit in the kinds of presentations and commitments that are seen here today that says very positive things to me about what we're building and how we're building it in Chicago. So I just wanted to recognize that and call it out. I'll close by saying that when we talk about catalytic, this is catalytic in every sense of the definition. When we talk about precedent, I think this is precedent setting in many senses of that word. And the comfort that I have in voting on this today is honestly, Alderman, knowing that we have you as a shepherd for this community and guiding what this looks like down the street, down the road in the future. So thank you for your leadership on this.
Commissioner, no, I just want to add one thing to help and put it on the record. So the developer did not actually seek those parcels of land. They came in with a proposal that did not have those pieces of land. Through our planning staff, our neighborhood planning staff in the department, and bringing it up to department leadership, we felt it would create a better project and bring that project to the corner, let them take the loading off of Stony Island. So we suggested to the developer to go and seek those parcels of land, knowing that it would leave us with a very small parcel of land that would be undevelopable on site. So it's the department had the foresight to ask them to acquire it to make a better project.
Oh, no, and I'm not even critical of that. I'm just pointing out to those asking about covenants, that's to the land sale, but that is a separate ordinance and a separate committee for separate things.
Thank you. Commissioner Pinheiro?
Yeah, thank you for the presentation. Very interesting project, exciting project, anything that can activate a neighborhood. It is very, I find it very important. Along the lines of what Commissioner Brumfield asked, I'm more curious and really interested in understanding how things stand as it relates to the capital structure. Where are things, what's the receptivity, how's the appetite for the type of project that this type of project in this location in the current economy?
My answer to that is that we have informally worked with brokers to identify with respect to market studies, demand, pricing, et cetera. Mr. Davis is a developer, but he's not made it cash, so he's going to have to definitely find an investor. We're confident we're going to be able to find an investor. The first question you get from all the brokers is, what is the status of the entitlements? So we think that this is clearing a big hurdle and that the conversations now can really begin in earnest. He's going to leverage professionals with expertise and knowledge of the South Side market. And we're more than confident that we'll be able to find interest from both a investor and or it could be one or both, a hotel operator. And so many of these conversations are very important to have, but they're slightly premature until we get the project entitled. And we're very optimistic that, speaking of a catalyst, I think this will be a great catalyst for what we ultimately hope will be the catalyst for this neighborhood. I hope that answers the question.
Thank you. The other question relates to, I think, a comment that Mr. Cation made related to the number of rooms. I thought I heard something along the lines of the number that has been presented here is kind of a cap.
Yeah.
But it's unclear what the actual number of rooms will be. Can you elaborate on what's the guiding principle and what's behind how large of a project?
We set up based on FAR and what we were fundamentally entitled to build in terms of square footage. We worked from that with our expertise in the office to develop how big the ground floor and those support functions needed. We then were able to extract the tower from that, and we used a basic planning module for hotel rooms. The latest hotel we did in Chicago was the Hotel Zachary, and we used that module for planning this building. But until we have an operator and the local demand, don't quite know how many of those might turn into suites. I like to say presidential suite because it's fun, but the idea that the number of keys we max out based on a model that we created, and then the operator, when they get their bias into the project as to how they want to market it, will affect that. But it can only affect it down in terms of keys. We don't see a change in square footage, and we maxed it out so that we had a comfort zone based on what we're trying to propose.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments from commissioners? Alderman, I know you commented on community involvement. Is there any other things you want to mention, or you're okay with your statement?
If projects like this, in communities that have been intentionally starved of resources, I won't call it disinvestment, intentionally starved of resources, really deserve a transparent process. So it's my intention from the office to make sure that as these conversations continue, that people in the community are more aware of what's going on. For context, within the 250 feet of the proposed development, there aren't a lot of stakeholders within that footprint, seeing as how the east side of Stony Island is a park, right? So what I'll be looking to do is just expand those conversations, because just from the few pieces of press that have come out around this proposed project, there is a lot of interest. And in some cases, as we've heard today, a lot of concern. So I just want to make sure that this is as clear as possible. You know, again, this is a great opportunity to not just signal commercial investment in Woodlawn, but also residential investment. We do have quite a few lots that are ripe for the picking to expand our housing in the area, which is much needed. So this is just the beginning of what's possible. And I think we don't get to what we deserve without some community involved.
Great, thank you. Any last minute questions or comments from commissioners? If not, then I'll go ahead and ask for motions. This item is both a plan development and a lakefront application, so we will need 2 motions and 2 votes. Do I have a motion on proposed business plan development application submitted by Akina Investments Trust for the property generally located at 6402 through 6420 South Stony Island Avenue, finding that it meets the requirements for approval?
So moved.
Thank you, Commissioner Boatright. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner La Spada. Roll call vote. Commissioner Boatright, can you confirm?
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Brumfield?
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Turner?
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Castañeda?
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Dowell?
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Flores? Yes. Commissioner Cadaquia?
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner La Spada?
Yes.
Thank you. We have a recusal from Commissioner Lyons on this item. Commissioner Murphy?
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Piñero?
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Reyes?
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Sicho Lopez?
Yes.
Thank you. Did I miss anyone? Okay. Motion passes. Thank you. Now I'll do a second one. Do I have a motion on a proposed Lake Michigan and Chicago Lakefront Protection Ordinance application submitted by Akina Investment Trust for the property generally located at 6402 through 6420 South Stony Island Avenue, finding that it meets the requirement for approval? Thank you, Commissioner Cadaquia. Do I have a second?
Second.
Commissioner Dowell, thank you. Commissioner Boatright?
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Brumfield?
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Turner?
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Castañeda?
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Dowell?
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Flores? Yes. Commissioner Cadaquia?
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner La Spada?
Yes.
Thank you. Recusal from Commissioner Lyons in this one. Commissioner Murphy?
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Piñero?
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Reyes?
Yes.
Thank you. And Commissioner Sicho Lopez?
Yes.
Thank you. Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
They're going to better place. Where you going? That's all. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Good job.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming, even though. I'll get to be there. Yes.
Okay, well, now you got. I do it. That's you do it. I'll be going up. We're not going
We're gonna get started with the first. The next item, okay?
I saw you.
Say hi.
Yeah, on your shoulder.
It's been 20 years.
The next item today is the ability to propose renovation of an existing metro station submitted by Metro for the property gonna be located at 1500 through 1509 East 59th Street and 1550 through 1559 East 60th Street. The applicant proposes renovating the 59th and 60th Street station, remove and replace the existing head houses, build new warming houses, reconstruct the ground level defects with enlarged waiting areas, use stairs and elevators to make the stations compliant with ADA requirements. Subject site is located within the private lakefront protection district. Number 795, and this is also in the 5th ward. James will provide the context overview and present the proposed plan.
Thank you. Good morning. For the record, my name is James Gwinner with the Department of Planning and Development. I am joined by the representatives of the project team for the renovation of the 59th and 60th Street Metro commuter train station. This application has been filed for review by the Chicago Planning Commission under the Lake Michigan and Chicago Lakefront Protection Ordinance. Metro, the applicant, appears here today because they are seeking to renovate the 59th and 60th Street station, remove and replace the existing head houses, build new warming houses, and reconstruct the ground level depots with enlarged waiting areas, new stairs and elevators to make the stations compliant with ADA requirements. The subject site is located within the private use zone of the Lake Michigan and Chicago Lakefront Protection District, and therefore proposed improvements of this site are regulated by section 16 or 150 of the Lake Michigan Chicago Lakefront Protection Ordinance and require approval from the Chicago Planning Commission. Subject site is located in the Hyde Park community area. According to the 2020 census, 29,591 residents live in the area, with 14,894 households that have a median household income of approximately $68,000. Median age in the area is 30.6 years old, and the population is approximately 40% white, 28% black, 15% Asian, and 8% Hispanic Latino. Property is located on the east side of the 59th and 5900 and 6000 blocks of South Harper Avenue at the east end of the Midway Plaisance, adjacent to the University of Chicago campus, 2 blocks southwest of the Griffin Museum of Science and Industry, and a block west of the soon-to-be-completed Obama Presidential Center. The site itself is a public transportation location and is well served by other nearby public transportation options, being located within approximately 400 feet the CTA's number 6 Jeffrey Express bus line stops on South Stony Island Avenue, and the number 2 Hyde Park Express bus stops on East 60th Street. The site is located in the 5th Ward, and Alderman Desmond Yancey supports this project. The site is Zone T Transportation District. As previously stated, the site is within the private use zone of the Lake Michigan and Chicago Lakefront District, and therefore any physical change to the property requires review and approval by the Planning Commission. Here is an aerial view from the southwest showing the head houses, proposed head houses in relation to the neighboring building heights. Here are the existing conditions of the 59th Street station at street level. And this is the 60th Street at street level. Conditions on the left with a view toward the Obama Presidential Center under construction on the right. Here's a rendered view of the proposed station improvement at 59th Street looking northwest. And here's a render view of the 59th Street station at street level looking east. These are the proposed. Render view of the 60th Street station looking southwest. And a render view of the proposed 60th Street station looking southeast. And now we'll turn the presentation over to Carol Stubblefield, the applicant's attorney, and the rest of the design team to explain the project.
Thank you, James. Carol Stubblefield, with Neil Leroy here at the applicant Metra. I'm joined today by Tim Savory to my left, from Metra, and two down from me is Adam Quigley, or one down, from Leggett, our architect team. I'm gonna ask, Tim to, make some opening remarks about the project and the process that they've gone through. This is, located in the historic, area for section 106, and they went through a very extensive process for that review and approval and all of the mitigating measures and the memorandum of agreement that was ultimately signed. So I'm gonna turn it over to Tim to talk about that and introduce the project.
Awesome. Thanks, everybody. My name is Tim Savory. As mentioned, I'm the Metro Project Manager for 59 60th Street Station and Rehabilitation Project. We're excited to present this much needed project, which will bring accessibility and other improvements to the existing Metro station to better serve the local community, University of Chicago, and also accommodate increased ridership we expect to see due to the forthcoming Obama Presidential Center. I'm actually going to turn it straight over to Adam from Leggett Architects, who's Metro's design consultant for the project.
Great, thank you very much. My name is Adam Quigley. I'm with Leggett Architects. As Carol mentioned, FTA initiated a section 106 process in consultation with the Illinois State Historic Preservation Office. An eligibility and effects determination report was prepared and approved by SHPO. FTA, along with SHPO and the local consulting parties, drafted and approved a memorandum of agreement to mitigate identified adverse effects. The requirements of the memorandum of agreement are being incorporated into the project right now.
Just use the.
So the section 106 NEPA process began in 2020 and included 2 community meetings with consulting parties in attendance. The property was rezoned to T in 2023. The section 106 NEPA and MOA process wrapped up and were approved in 2024. An LPO intake meeting was held in June 2024, and the project updates have been made based on feedback from that. Construction is anticipated to begin in the 3rd quarter of 2026 and complete in the 1st quarter of 2030. As mentioned, we work with FTA and the State Historic Preservation Office, as well as the local community and consulting parties to refine the design, mitigate adverse effects related to the Midway Plaisance Park shed. The street level entrance enclosure below the bridge, shown here in yellow, will serve as an extension of the existing pedestrian paths shown in blue and provide clear accessible pathways to the track level platform via stair and elevator highlighted in red. This is 59th Street. And 60th Street is really just a mirror of 59th. Here's a detailed look of the 59th street level plan with an enlarged entrance enclosure along with living areas, elevators and stairs to track level. Uh, 60th Street again is a mirror of 59th Street. These are plans of both 59th and 60th Street head houses. There are 2 head houses at 59th Street and 2 head houses at 60th Street, providing enclosed accessible access to 2 metro platforms connected by the 2 metro platforms. Roof plans. This is a building axonometric, highlighting the materials. It's really very simple. There are concrete panels that are articulated to be sensitive to the of the concrete ridge in both context and materiality, and also bird-friendly glass for for light, transparency, and security. The street level station that's located below the bridge is primarily glass again for driving light, transparency, and security, as well as a way to highlight the existing bridge structure. This is a section axonometric through the westmost head house, and really just highlights the vertical circulation to the platform level served by accessible elevator and stairways. Building elevations, again, both the 59th and 60th Street elevations are identical and composed primarily of concrete panels and bird-friendly glazing. It's a section through the bridge along the street. And again, a section highlighting vertical circulation and interior materials, which mirror the exterior materials. Just another detail of the street level enclosure in detail, so that there's a concrete base with glass, with glazing above and a stainless steel side. There's a detail at the exterior wall of the head house assembly. Clearances at track level are exceptionally tight, and the wall assemblies are flush and compact in response to these site conditions. We have 16 potential bike racks planned at 59th Street. Those are highlighted here in yellow. And there are 14 bike racks planned at 60th Street, again, highlighted in yellow. Several bus stops provide an extension to the 59th Street and 60th Street Metro service. Gives you an idea of the character of the head house and station from 59th Street. This is the nighttime view. This is the approach from the pedestrian to the station. This is a view underneath the viaduct, highlighting the transparency of the glazing, as well as the visibility of the structure and activities within. And again, highlighting building materials in the rendering, concrete panels articulated in response to the bridge, the rhythm of the bridge, glazed curtain wall with bird safe glass, as well as glazing below. And again, another view of that's annotated. So under the Lakefront Protection Ordinance, this project is not required to meet City of Chicago Sustainable Development Policy. However, you can see here there's a long list of sustainable features that Metro is pursuing as part of this project. Stormwater management has reviewed and has no objections to this project moving forward. Economic and community benefits. The total construction cost of this project is approximately $80 million and will include several temporary construction jobs. Public benefits are added entry from 60th Street, modern station amenities, including ADA compliant accessibility. There will be an exhibit of commuter rail history visible from the street under the viaduct. That's shown in concept here on the right. And Metro's participation goals are 20% participation from qualified minority business enterprises, as well as 7% participation from qualified women business enterprises.
do want to turn it over to James to make clarification, but I just want to make a couple of corrections, economic jobs. Slide, I think it's 78 million is the total construction budget. And also the jobs were 235, I believe, so it's 235 temporary construction jobs for the project and 78 million in the budget. Thank you, James.
Thank you. Once again, for the record, this is James Gwinner, Department of Planning and Development. DPD has reviewed the project materials submitted by the applicant and has concluded that this proposal is in compliance with the applicable policies of the Lakefront Plan of Chicago and the purposes of the Lake Michigan and Chicago Lakefront Protection Ordinance as they apply to development in the private use zone. Specifically, LPO policy number 8, this project will increase personal safety as it will have on-site security. LPO purpose number 1, the renovation of the rail station will greatly enhance the community of the 5th Ward. The renovation of the rail station will greatly modernize the existing infrastructure. The much needed upgrade of the rail station will create efficiencies and reduce operating costs and improve the customer experience with increased reliability and passenger comfort. In addition, the proposed renovation of the rail station will conform to all existing provisions of the Chicago Municipal Code and as such is designed to promote the health, safety, comfort, convenience, and general welfare of the people. Now, LPO purpose number 8, the proposed renovations to the rail station will provide improved public transportation and access to the lakefront. Please refer to the staff report for further details regarding this project and the plans identified here today. Based on the foregoing, it is a recommendation of the zoning administrator of the Department of Planning and Development that this application, being in conformance with the provisions of the Lake Michigan and Chicago Lakefront Protection Ordinance, be approved, subject to compliance with plans presented to you today. Thank you.
Thank you, James. We have 2 speakers signed up to speak on this item. The first one will be Lorna Atlock, who doesn't specify if it's for or against the proposal, and then Mr. Butler Adams, who's for the proposal.
And I'm Lorna Atlock. I'm president and board member of the Oakville View Courtyard Building Corporation, which is the courtyard building just to the east of the 59th station. And I just wanted to share some of the concerns from the residents in my building. So there are 3 concerns that residents in the building have discussed. So one is a concern about vibration from the construction, causing damage to our beautiful historic building. 2, we're concerned about the limestone retaining wall between our building and the land where the attraction station are. And 3, the 3rd concern is about displaced rodents, and if there is an issue with displaced rodents, whether there'll be any plans about them coming into our building. Basically, residents in my building want to know that there will be plans to address those concerns and mitigate damages for our building. Thank you.
Mr. Adams?
Yes, again, I'm a resident of Woodline, named Butler Adams for the record. It's always nice to see these stations brought up to compliance and renovated when they kind of fall into disrepair and this use. I know that right now, it's kind of hard to get actual numbers on how many people use the station daily, but it's not that many. I think it's maybe about 1,000. Like I said before in the previous presentation, it would be nice to see more development along Metro, just to bring up TOD issues with stuff like this. But I'm in favor of this project and look forward to see it moving forward. Also, if the Metro is maybe considering some type of murals or artwork under the viaducts themselves because they're kind of plain and boring. The viaduct on Marquette Road, 66th Street has a very nice kind of mosaic. This spells out Woodlawn. It'd be nice to see something like that under this viaduct as well. Just kind of bring it up and make it nice to walk underneath because a lot of the viaducts aren't nice to walk under. So I hope that's considered. And I look forward to seeing this project move forward. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Adams. And we actually have 2 more speakers. Mr. Thomas McElroy, who's for the proposal, and Chuck's Okujik, thank you, for the proposal.
My question is, it was mentioned that there would be minority and women-owned business participation in this project, which is something that as a minority business, we are wholly and 100% for. But by virtue of it being Metro, would the certification be MBE or DBE by virtue of the fact that this is a Metro project?
And we'll wait on that since this is not an answer and session, so we'll follow up with the last speaker.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Chutsu Kuje, architect and resident of Hyde Park, South Shore since 1979. A very avid biker as well. So my comment is about the relationship of community residents have with their bikes, and quite categorically don't see 16 bike racks as a realistic number, considering, I went to lab school. I hang out in the National House even today. And if you just go there, you'll see a 26 bike rack and it's full. So if we modernize the station, we're gonna attract that bike traffic to the station. And it's gonna be UC students, professionals like myself, community residents, parents for kids, off the bikes. They now can go downtown, right? And they can come back. 16 to 19 bike racks doesn't equate to the reality of this community. And as a contextual empirical example, the office at 1000 North Milwaukee. Again, I'm dodging to get out of the way of more bike traffic, right? Where there's dedicated bike lanes. We don't have that in the park, don't have that on the Midway plazas. We barely have like when I bike on Stony, I gotta have my lights, my helmet, everything on, because as soon as I leave Plazians, it's a two-way street with no bike lane light. You just put the Obama Presidential Library on one side of the street, where a bike is gonna go, and then how do you expect them to get to the station if they're coming from South Shore where I reside? And we wanna not go through the park, come up Stony Island. It's incomprehensible, so I really would wanna see a serious approach to that community of bikers being able to use this facility and get the value out of it.
Thank you to all the speakers for those comments. I'll turn it back over to the applicant. If you would like to address any of those comments.
Yeah, I was just thinking about the right way to phrase it. Again, Tim Savory, Metro Project Manager. So in relation to construction impact on neighboring buildings and the adjacent community, all that will be looked at very carefully when the contractor is on board to make sure that there's a plan to mitigate the adverse effects of the construction, which may include rodent displacement, etc. Just to be clear, where your building is located on the east side, on an aerial view, you'll see that there's Metro tracks on the western portion. And then on the eastern portion, it actually belongs to Canadian National, so we'll be kind of farther removed from your building in terms of worries about vibration, just to set you at ease about that one. But the contractor will have to go through the plan and make sure that we're not having any bad effects on the community. Murals has been brought up before. Thank you for raising it again. Right now, the underside of the viaduct is in disrepair, so our project is repairing it and painting it white at the very least. Still a bit sterile, but much better than a destitute sort of feeling that you get when you're walking under it now. We will look at potential for art in coordination with CDOT and others that we need to coordinate on that.
Question about MBE, WBE, and DB, right?
Which by virtue of it being Metro, because it's usually DBE when it's Metro's involved.
Can you speak to that, Andy?
Sure. Andy Roth, Director of Station Parking for Metro, and my understanding is, we follow the report to the FTA, so we do DBE when we go out to bid. And following up on a partial question that you had, the issues about the viaduct under, at track level and at street level, when Metro bought the commuter division of the Illinois Central Railway back in 1987, we purchased the west half. So that 200-foot wide viaduct, we only own the west half, the west embankment and everything. So when you get to facilities and under the bridge viaducts, we only own the west half. So physical conditions and care and maintenance of the east half and the east embankment is the responsibility of the Canadian National with bought the units.
I do have a question about that.
Let me just, finish addressing all the questions. There's one more about bike. Mhm.
So.
Yeah, so as Carol was mentioning, bike lanes is really outside of the scope of this project. And is, an item that needs to be considered with, the Chicago Department of Transportation. In terms of the amount of bike racks, we're limited in some regards, considering the item that, Andy had brought up previously, which is that Metro really only controls the west side of the bridge. You can kind of see this red line right here, where Canadian National owns, the right side of the bridge, and then the control of, the area south of this kind of horizontal line is CDOT. So there may be some opportunities in conjunction with CDOT to increase the amount of, bike racks that are available, either part of this project or part of a future project, if it's seen that the need exists.
Speaking on behalf of CDOT, we are a bike-friendly city, so we can definitely work with the developers and everything to address the bike needs in the area. As far as the bike lanes, I'm gonna take that back to my team to get a better understanding of the bike infrastructure that's planned around the OPC.
Thank you, Commissioner Turner. I know Commissioner Vieto had a follow-up question.
Yeah, thank you for the presentation. I'm just curious about the comment about only, well, controlling half of the viaduct and the other half. What is that? Can you explain and help us understand? What does it mean for the project? Does it mean that one half is going to be fully upgraded and then the other half, what's gonna happen with the other half?
So just to clarify, as Andy brought up, this is Tim Savory again, Metro Project Manager for the project, as Andy mentioned and then Adam clarified. Roughly 2/3 of the viaduct in an aerial view is owned by Metro that contains Metro's tracks. And then adjacent to it is Canadian National, so the bulk majority, like the depot with the new entrances and stuff that we're installing below the viaduct sits within Metro property. And then the area adjacent to it is still owned by CN, so we're not putting any buildings there. However, we are planning to coordinate with them to clean up at the very least, to repair the structure and paint it white. That's the minimum option that we're going to coordinate with them. So you're not gonna walk through an unfinished, unrepaired space into a shiny new station. We're trying to cohesively complete that.
Thank you very much. That was the thrust of my question.
So Commissioner Laspada and then followed by Commissioner Cadaquia.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate the design. I think folks absolutely deserve a comfortable and fully accessible metro station. Two quick questions. Number one, what does the capital stack for a project like this look like? This does not look inexpensive. I think you said 70 million altogether. 78. What, yeah, how does this go from the design to build out?
Are you asking where the funding comes from?
Yes.
So we have funding from a number of sources. I don't have the list in front of me, so I don't want to be wrong, but there's federal funding, there's funding from University of Chicago. And then there's a number of other grants that were engaged to help pay for this project. And then there's also funding just coming from Metro's annual budget.
Federal funding in the bank can be clawed back in our accounts.
That is my understanding of the legality, so, yeah.
Okay, so curious.
Good call, Commissioner.
Well, in this day and age, my other question was, Lorna? I appreciate the questions that Lorna was asking, I appreciate the responses and the need to identify the contractor. Is there any way to share contact information so that when you all get closer to construction, folks can reconnect and make sure that we're addressing those concerns and we're communicating to them the plan for it?
Yeah, we're happy to collect contact information and then, take that to later.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you, Commissioner Cadaquia.
Thank you. Yeah, the capital stack was something I was worried
worried, should I say worried out loud? Wondering about as well. The other question I had, is around bike circulation and, related. You've answered a lot of it, but I was wondering about, maybe this is a question actually for my peers here, but is there such a thing as a bike circulation study, like we always do car circulation studies, we always do, the impact of a project on how much traffic and whatnot. Not every situation calls for that, but this strikes me as one where it might be a really useful thing.
Yeah, Alderman Yazzie?
Yeah, earlier this week, I had the pleasure of touring the OPC. And one of the things we talked about were concerns around traffic along Stony Island. I think Chooks mentioned that it is an increasingly well-traversed piece of the South Side. And as we're looking at this proposed, the potential 800,000 visitors per year coming by everything but a plane. We have kind of entered into some preliminary discussions about what a traffic study will look like. I believe UChicago has completed one. However, what I've asked them to consider, along with CDOT, is essentially how people are getting there actually as far north as Lakeshore Drive, because we've also seen some traffic congestion there as well. With respect to the community meetings, I'm grateful that the Fifth Ward has such engaged residents. It is really important, I mentioned earlier, around transparency. And I think we've met as a group probably near a half dozen times in the last 2 years as we've talked about this process. And I've always talked about the need to make sure that the community is aware of what's going on. So I'll commit publicly to work with Metra and UChicago to figure out what the cadence is of the conversations that we have, so that there are ample opportunities to hear community concerns, and also just to allay them and make sure people know what the timing of the project.
Thank you. Any other questions? Yes.
I will say also with CDOT, like I said, we're a bike-friendly city. Just all the development that we're doing around the OPC. We just finished up a major project where we reconfigure some of the roads. We use complete street items to include bike lanes or alternate routes or different corridors. So that is something that we will, we work with the city council and also developers to kind of incorporate into our plan. So it's a collaborative effort, and we look forward to working with everyone on this here.
Any other questions or comments from commissioners? Commissioner Lyons?
Thank you, and thank you for the presentation. I saw a note about the Divvy station. The current one I think it's on 59. Will that stay? And are you thinking about adding another one, or just curious about what will happen with the Divvy station there?
Okay. The current plan is we're gonna work with Divvy to relocate the one that's currently there in a way that suits the station layout. So that's gonna be a coordination effort. In terms of adding another one, we haven't had that discussion. That could be part of the discussion.
But the idea is to maintain somewhere in the same area. My second question was about the viaduct, and I know it's sort of minimal, but it looks like there's some really nice lighting happening. I think, just curious about the lighting in the older viaduct themselves, if you could speak to what the plans might be to make sure it's well lit.
So on this image here, you can see that the new station entrance below the viaduct is going to capture some of that existing viaduct structure. So everything, for lack of a better term, within the glass box is going to be lighting that Metra installs as part of the station project. And Metra will maintain it. Everything outside of the glass box is going to be replaced lighting, but it's going to be according to CDOT standards, because CDOT owns that and will maintain it going forward. But it should be much more light than it is now, I would think.
Any other questions or comments from commissioners? Okay. Anything else to add from Alderman on this item?
Just renew my support.
Thank you. So if there are no more questions or comments from the commissioners, I'll go ahead and ask for a motion. Do I have a motion on a proposed renovation of an existing Metra station submitted by Metra for the property generally located at 1500 through 1509 East 59th Street and 1550 through 1559 East 60th Street, finding that it meets the requirements for approval? Thank you, Commissioner Pinedo. Do I have a second? Commissioner Reyes? Roll call vote. Commissioner Boatright?
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Brumfield?
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Turner?
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Castañeda?
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Dowell? Step down. Commissioner Flores? Yes. Commissioner Kadakia?
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Espada?
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Lyons?
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Murphy?
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Pinedo?
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Reyes?
Yes.
Thank you. And I believe Commissioner Sicha Lopez stepped out. Did I miss anybody? If not, motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
See you next time.
Oh, my pleasure. I didn't even, switch on black, because I have a mic rack on my truck, so I'm always like ready to go.
I think the
I'm looking forward to it.
I find
Sure.
when somebody says
Yeah.
something is fair lane. I don't actually.
Brilliant, let me give you my card, and yeah, I'd love to, I didn't think I'd become the, you know, sometimes we stumble into roles that we didn't intend, but, you know. Like I was, you know, I often like from, you know, I like the old Stony Island. It's a little while. Do you have a card license? I'll follow up, maybe, okay, Mr. Turner, right? Yeah. We are gonna.
One that's prejudiced.
She's.
We don't have.
We're gonna get started with item 3, which is actually 2 items. The last 2 items today will be presented together, but need to be voted on separately. First, listed as E3, a resolution seeking the adoption of the Mayor Taylor Trail Land Use Framework Plan. The plan focuses on catalyzing equitable development in the area around the Mayor Taylor Trail from 104th Street to 125th Street, which includes the community areas of Beverly, Morgan Park, and West Pullman. With community engagement and input, the plan identifies opportunities for redevelopment and reinvestment, outlines a vision and set of goals for land use in the study area, and promotes equitable transit-oriented development along the trail. CTA bus, a newly planned pace pulse route on Halsted Street, and the building of the CTA Red Line extension just east of the trail. Secondly, listed as B4, a resolution seeking the adoption of the trail consolidation plan. The consolidation plan catalogs planned capital improvements and recommendations from all organizations involved in the operation of the Mayor Taylor Trail, and will be used to track progress on the trail improvements and guide interagency coordination, outlining a common vision for the trail and its surrounding public spaces. This document aims to clarify the strategies, responsible parties, and steps needed to help the trail meet its potential as a Southside community asset and regional attraction. Erica Selke and Will Holland will provide the context overview and present the proposed plan.
Thank you. My name is Erica Selke. I'm the lead planner for the Far South region with Department of Planning and Development. We're gonna run through the 2 different plans using the same presentation. So to start, the Major Taylor Trail is an 8-mile trail from Dan Ryan Woods to Whistler Woods on a former railroad right-of-way. It touches 4 wards, including the 9th, 18th, 19th, and 21st wards. Touches the Ashburn, Auburn, Gresham, Beverly, Washington Heights, Morgan Park, and West Pullman community areas. And is in the far south, southwest, and southeast planning regions. So this was one of Chicago's first rail to trail projects. It was completed in 2007. It's a mix of paved off-street path and on-street bike routes. So the dark green line you can see there is the off-street trail, and the dashed green line is the on-street. The black dash line shows the study area for the land use framework. And you can also see the path of the red line extension adjacent to that. So there are 2 complementary plans focused on the Major Taylor Trail. The first is a consolidation plan. So this focuses on capital plan improvements across the trail and for managing all the agencies that touch the trail. And then there is the Major Taylor Trail Land Use Framework, which focuses on an area between 105th and 124th Streets. This area was chosen because it's a great opportunity for new development. There's a lot of vacant city-owned land that's adjacent, and it's ready for new development and investment. So to focus on the land use framework trail or plan for a second here, we established the planning process to identify new opportunities for redevelopment and reinvestment, set goals for land use in the study area, and promote equitable transit-oriented development on the various transit lines that move through the area. The plan is pretty simple. This is a pared down version, but we identified areas for more business and mixed use uses, commercial uses, residential uses, and then also an area for community gardens, where we've seen a growth in the number of community gardens as well. There was a community engagement process led by the Far South Community Development Corporation, and worked with a number of the friend groups that use the trail and keep up the trail. So with that, I'll hand it over to Will to talk about the consolidation plan.
Hi, for the record, my name is Will Holland. I'm a city planner in the Department of Planning and Development. I'm here to talk about the Major Taylor Trail Consolidation Plan. This plan grew out of the land use framework plan. We saw an opportunity to develop a plan for the entirety of the trail. Trust for Public Land assisted in the creation of this document. And the Major Taylor Trail is owned and managed by several agencies, including DPD and CDOT at the city, Chicago Park District, Forest Preserves of Cook County, and Cook County Department of Transportation and Highways as well. And while there's been planning efforts led by each of these individual agencies, there's never been a plan for the entirety of the trail. So one of the main goals of this document is to collect all those planned improvements and recommendations for these agencies and put them into a single document. And also worth mentioning, we had the involvement of both Major Taylor Trail Keepers and Friends of the Major Taylor Trail as well in the review, the meetings, and recommendations of this plan. And then the second goal is to guide interagency coordination on trail improvements forward. So we collected all these in progress and planned improvements into a single matrix in the appendix of this plan. And it identifies the project, the lead partners, as well as the status of these improvements. And we will use the matrix moving forward as a part of our quarterly interagency meetings where we can discuss these projects and track progress. There's community support for both these plans from the Major Taylor Trail Keepers, Friends of the Major Taylor, and Far South Community Development Corporation. City's already working towards implementation of several of the goals and recommendations of these plans. The Missing Middle Infill Housing Program had an application round in Morgan Park that opened up in April of this year and has been awarded to 4 developers. There's ongoing rezonings to ensure future development aligns with the community land use vision. And there's also been work to expand the We Grow community gardens and farms at 119th Street, the trail. Additionally, DPD is working with Forest Preserves of Cook County to transfer ownership and management of a portion of the trail to the Forest Preserve District. That'll put ownership with one agency north of 95th Street. It'll lead for better outcomes in terms of trail management and operations. And of course, also moving forward, we will have continue our quarterly interagency meetings. And that concludes our presentation.
Thank you. We do have a few speakers signed up to speak on this item. Mr. Butler Adams, who's for the proposal. Ms. Brenda M. Dixon, who's for the proposal. And Ms. Ann Alt, who's for the proposal.
The record, my name is Butler Adams. I'm not a biker. I can't ride a bike, but I'm not a biker. It's a biker. But I do think that these trails is an additional way to create connectivity to neighborhoods and to other additional transit. I know that this trail crosses by and near some metro stations. And I think that with us always talking about TOD, it would be nice to see some of the off-street portions of the trail be considered TOD itself. And I know that we're talking about missing middle housing and stuff like that, but I'm seeing so many things across this country in terms of cities changing their zoning to allow more density and stuff like that. I would like to see Chicago take that step forward as well, especially when we talk about there being a high housing crisis, and this is very far from downtown. It would be nice to see some density in these areas that are seemingly always neglected. So that's my only thing.
Thank you, Mr. Adams. Ms. Dixon?
I thank you all, first of all. Before I say a word, I have to just pause for a second and wish our beloved 21st Ward, Alderman Mosley, a happy birthday, because he does not have to be here. Thank you for the love and support of our beloved trail, our community. Thank you for leading us by example. And especially thank you for all of the love and compassion that you show us as residents. So thank you. I gotta say that. And then last shout out before I give my speech, and pardon my voice. We would not be here at this point if it was not for this young lady sitting in the back, Jamie Simone from Trust for Public Land, and Carolyn O'Boyle. When they stepped in to come and work with Major Taylor Trail Keepers and the Friends of the Major Taylor Trail, it just made a tremendous difference. There's no way we would be at this moment without the support of Trust for Public Land, so thank you. All right, now to my speech. All right, so good morning, Chair Laura Flores, Vice Chair Andre Broomfield, members of the Chicago Plan Commission, fellow commissioners, aldermen, and ex officios and staff. I hope I said hello to everybody. I let you out. Good morning, hello and good morning. My name is Dr. Brenda M. Dixon, and I serve as the president of the Major Taylor Trail Keepers, vice president of the Friends of the Major Taylor Trail, and I have with me my colleague, Ann Alt, who serves as secretary for the Friends of the Major Taylor Trail. We are both honored to speak today on behalf of both organizations. And let me just tell you a little bit about myself. I was born and raised Chicago. I'm a lifelong resident, my second generation living here. My sons and everyone still is continuing to be a part of our 21st Ward community. I'm a proud graduate of Lindblom Technical High School, swoop swoop, for those that know. All right, so anyway, for more than 2 decades, our community has poured its heart and labor into the Major Taylor Trail. We have cleaned it, we've protected it, we've advocated for it, we've lifted up its history. We've done this because we believe the trail is more than just a bike path. It's a lifeline, it's a gathering place, it's a greenway that can help bring health, hope, and economic vitality to the far south side. The resolutions before you today to adopt the Major Taylor Trail Use Framework Plan and the Major Taylor Trail Consolidation Plan represent what we have been working towards for decades. After years of piecemeal investments and scattered responsibilities, we finally have a vision and a structure that can move us forward. This is our moment, and I'm gonna try not to get emotional, okay? The Major Taylor Trail should be a model for Chicago. With proper investment and coordination, this corridor can deliver wide-ranging benefits. It will improve public health by encouraging walking, cycling, and active lifestyles. It will enhance safety by providing a well-maintained, connected greenway. It will strengthen our local economy by attracting new development and businesses that want to be part of a vibrant, healthy neighborhood. It will help build community pride by honoring Major Taylor's legacy and giving families and young people a safe place to gather. And it will also help address climate challenges by expanding green space, supporting stormwater management, and creating a healthier environment for all. My prayer, though, is that this vote is not just a symbolic gesture or another plan that gets approved and then forgotten on a shelf. The people of the far south side deserve more than words on paper. We need the city of Chicago to fully fund this vision and commit to carrying it through to full implementation so that these plans become living realities that transform our community. So on behalf of the Friends of the Major Taylor Trail and the Major Taylor Trail Keepers, and on behalf of all of the residents and family who care for this beloved trail, I urge you to vote yes. Vote yes for equity, vote yes for health, vote yes for community, vote yes for Chicago that remembers and invests in its residents on the south side. And I think the emotion.
Thank you, Ms. Dixon, for that passion. We have Ms. Ann Alt also signed up to speak.
I was first introduced to the trail when I was still living on the north side when the trail was not quite finished yet. And I thought, wow, what a great addition to this area. And not long after that, I ended up moving to Beverly and I got involved because I said, hey, this is my neighborhood trail. This matters to people. And I've had a lot of great interactions with neighbors along the trail who love it and want to see it be more of an asset to their neighborhood and nearby neighborhoods. I see people use it for recreation, transportation, walking their dogs, visiting with their neighbors. There's so much potential for improvement if we can implement these plans, get more businesses, more residents in areas that have long been disinvested, more community gardens to help improve quality of life for residents there. And I see people on the trail who are from adjacent neighborhoods, people who come from other parts of the city, and even from out of state, so it's a destination. And if we can attract more businesses, that helps enhance it as a destination and bring more people from all over. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Alt. I'll open it up to the commissioners for comments or questions. Yeah, Commissioner Lascada?
Thank you so much. Dr. Dixon, it's just about 2 years ago since we met. We met during Bike the Drive together, and you spent like a solid 7 miles of biking with me, telling me about the life and legacy of Major Taylor and the trail. And I regret that it took me a solid almost 2 years to get to the trail, but I did recently. with Alderman Mosley here, and it was a really wonderful ride. And this encourages me, because riding with you, sir, I can see how, like, you see the vision for this in your mind. You should know, Dr. Dixon, as we went along, we were frequently stopping, we were riding slow. He was telling me, like, what all these spaces could be and should be. You should know, like, the vision that you've been working on is in a good hands of stewardship with Alderman Mosley here. And I say that to say two things, actually three very quick things. Number one, I never view getting emotional as a sign of weakness. I see it as a sign of strength. We get emotional about the things that have captured our heart. And this trail has captured your heart. And I never want you to feel embarrassed about the emotion that you feel for that. So I just wanted to say that first and foremost. Second, I appreciate everything that we're talking about that will bring economic vitality to the area around the trail. I don't want to sleep on the open spaces, because when we went along, you were talking about like all the different parklets and like recreational spaces that were pictured for adjacent to this. And it's what was built on the north side with the 606. You deserve nothing less than the kinds of amenities and spaces that you would see 10, 12 miles north of here. So I want to voice that and make sure that the financial commitments are just as strong for the recreational spaces as they are for the economic spaces. And finally, from a transportation perspective, I will say it was difficult getting to the trail from the red line. I'm glad that I figured it out. The same way that you would see, and again, like I hate to call out north-south comparisons, but I will. If I was on the north side, there would be signage saying like such and such miles to the Major Taylor Trail. Here's the way to get here. You deserve that. If you would find it as a matter of course on the north side, it should exist on the south side. So let's figure out how that happens. Yeah. Thank you all. Thank you, Jack.
Thank you. Commissioner Brownfield?
It's interesting, because I was actually gonna make a similar comment, and I only asked you to see, well, first and foremost, I just want to thank the alderman, of course, Trust for Public Land, of course, dedicated citizens, that trails touching, a commitment from the city to actually do a consolidated plan. This is very important to have, another true kind of biking trail consolidated that is not on the lakefront. We're spoiled, being in Hyde Park and Woodlawn, that we're able to get on the bike path. And it's great to actually have something that's actually truly cutting through the section of the city, particularly on the south side, is tremendous. As someone who's a supposed cyclist and clearly is out of good standing with my Major Taylor Club.
Go get you one. We're gonna get you one. Don't worry.
The idea of actually promoting what this trail is and what it's going to be, and also from a signage and wayfinding standpoint, I also hope that there will be some good thought given to that, because I think the city really needs to promote this for the city. This is not a major attraction for others, coming from Northwest Indiana, or even coming from other parts of the state, but this is for the city. And the city needs to know that this asset is here. I'll come over from Hyde Park gladly. I've been on the trail and been frustrated.
I think Commissioner Turner would like to address maybe something.
Sure,
about
just a comment more is, again, Chicago is a bike-friendly area, city. We work, with the different biking communities. I also had a great meeting with Alderman Mosley just, I believe, a week and a half ago, where we would like to kind of look at the on-street part of the trail to incorporate some of our bike safety elements to it. Instead of going down St. Charles, maybe we could put it on Vincennes or another corridor that we can have dedicated bike lanes to data connectivity. And to another point is, like, I used to run a lot, and I remember running down like in East St. Louis area where the Metrolink is. They have a trail right next to it. So, I mean, that would be a good model. It's a good way to get around the city, either on bike, walking, or using the Metrolink down there. So that'd be a good model to kind of, probably work with the railroads also to set aside some right of way or something like that. But I mean, just the connectivity to move between the, different corridors to be great. So, yes.
I know Ms. Dixon wanted to add something.
Yeah, just piggybacking off of this comment, something that the city doesn't know, and I'm actually happy that I have an opportunity to share this, something that we probably don't even realize is the Major Taylor Trail is already a tourist attraction. There are Major Taylor cycling clubs in almost every major city across the country, and now there also are Major Taylor cycling clubs in other countries. In Europe, Major Taylor is known all over the place, far more acknowledged than we is here. It is already a tourist attraction, it's just to a small niche. And if we actually make this plan that's on paper come to life, this is going to become not just a national tourist attraction, it's going to be a worldwide attraction. Any cyclist that's part of a Major Taylor cycling club, it's like, you ain't been, excuse my vernacular, I just gotta say it real. You ain't been to Chicago if you didn't get on the Major Taylor Trail and take a picture in front of one of those murals. So it's already serving in a capacity that is far greater than what it's built up to be. I just want to go on the record, you all know that.
Thank you for sharing that.
Okay.
Any other comments or questions from commissioners? Commissioner, go ahead.
No, just a comment, just about the excitement, the enthusiasm that's clearly just felt in the room. And when we think about kind of all the efforts that are underway, I mean, you're talking about amazing aldermen that's just champion real equitable economic development, not just housing. We saw a slide with missing mental health, really focused on, you know, affordable home ownership, wealth building, activating their vacant lots, but also thinking about our economic vitality or lack thereof, and thinking about corridors and how we can ensure that we have both density, but we're also supporting small businesses and ensuring that they thrive, right? You're thinking about repopulation. So there's a holistic approach, if you will, as we think about economic development, as we think about this being the destination that it deserves to be, and ensure that there are resources that follow. So I just wanted to kind of pull things together as we think about all the different, you know, initiatives underway that will absolutely accomplish trail.
Thank you, Commissioner. Any other comments or questions from commissioners? And I know we have support from all the aldermen involved, but Alderman Mosley, would you like to make a statement?
Thank you so much, Chair Flores, and to the commission here. Commissioner Laspada and I have our photo in front of the mural. Dr. Dixon is absolutely right. But I really have to give my hats to DPD for pulling this together. You know, when I was running to become alderman, my ward was 2 wards merged together, 034 and 021. And we had to figure out a symbol of unity. And the first thing that came up was this trail, because it went through both of our wards. The 21st ward is home to majority of the trail. 90%. Facts. I'm talking past the facts. So to see this move forward where we are encouraging folks to have more homes and businesses facing the trail. You know, I think about an NOF recipient, Carnisha Ross, who is opening up a juice bar and even bringing more housing there, not just to the site that she owns, which is directly adjacent to the trail, but also she's participating in the Missing Middle program. I think about the different parks and our relationships there, of looking at pocket parks. I think about our partnerships with the county of not just being the stewards of the trail, but even figuring out housing there as well. Again, when we talk about desirable destinations for our communities, Major Taylor Trail is it. And the story behind this individual persevered, overcame challenges, became the first Black global sports superstar. Inspires so much hope, so much passion, so much purpose to residents who get to see that reflected in his imagery and get to tap into that when you're taking the trail. So thank you all for considering this, and I would ask for your favorable support.
Thank you, Alderman. Any follow-up questions of the Alderman or the staff on this item from the commissioners? No? Okay, if not, I'll go ahead and ask for 2 votes. Do I have a motion on a proposed resolution seeking the adoption of the Major Taylor Trail Land Use Framework Plan, finding that it meets the requirements for approval?
So moved.
Thank you, Commissioner Laspada. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Commissioner Turner. Roll call vote. Commissioner Boatright?
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Brumfield?
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Turner?
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Castañeda?
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Flores? Yes. Commissioner Cadakia?
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Lasada?
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Lyons?
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Murphy?
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Piñero?
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Reyes?
Yes.
Thank you. Motion passes. First one. Second one. Do I have a motion on a resolution seeking the adoption of the Major Taylor Trail Consolidation Plan, finding that it meets the requirements for approval?
So moved.
Thank you, Commissioner Turner, and second by Commissioner Reyes. Commissioner Boatright?
Yes.
Thank you, Commissioner Brumfield?
Yes.
Thank you, Commissioner Turner?
Yes.
Thank you, Commissioner Castañeda?
Yes.
Thank you, Commissioner Flores? Yes. Commissioner Cadakia?
Yes.
Thank you, Commissioner Laspada?
Yes.
Thank you, Commissioner Lyons?
Yes.
Thank you, Commissioner Murphy?
Yes.
Thank you, Commissioner Piñero?
Yes.
Thank you, Commissioner Reyes?
Yes.
Thank you, motion passes. Awesome. Thank you, everyone. That's it for today. This concludes this month's meeting of the Chicago Plan Commission. Do I have a motion to adjourn? Thank you, Commissioner Cadakia, second.
Hold on this.
Piñero, this month's meeting of the Chicago Plan Commission is now adjourned at 12:03. Thank you.
You know what to do that. Can you want us to vote on that one?
I do, but I didn't, if I needed it, well.
I'm not gonna wait till-
No, ready to do it?